前辈之称万万不可再提。这时候，我应该称呼你为前辈才是，王前辈。
When Wang Lin, carrying the cultivation of Kui Nirvana, returned to the Vermilion bird planet, just how shocked were Chu Wutai and Yun Chuezi, and how stunned were the others. By episode 133, Wang Lin had already reached the Luotian star domain, opening a brand new chapter. But before that, no one could have imagined Wang Lin had carved out a terrifying reputation through endless slaughter, earning the infamous name of Shu Mu, the Demon Path Cultivator. From early Ascendant stage, he fought his way up to early Koi Nirvana, his hands drenched in blood. His Dao heart had been eroded by endless killing intent, leaving flaws right after his breakthrough. It could be said that although his cultivation was already extremely high, his heart was exhausted. Thus, taking advantage of the Great War between the Luotian star domain and the Alliance star domain, he decided to return to the Vermilion bird planet to seek a way to perfect his dual heart. Before Wang Lin even returned, a group of infamous cultivators from the Luotian star domain had already invaded the planet. They were so terrifying that they drove everyone into despair. However, when this group of ruthless cultivators arrived above the Yuntian sect and saw the statue below, they all froze instantly, especially the leader, the Great Head Child. After recognizing that the statue depicted the very same Shu Mu who had gained terrifying fame in the Luotian star domain, he immediately fled, as if running even a moment slower would cost him his life. At that moment, Chu Wutai and Yun Kuei-zi stood frozen, their minds completely blank. Just moments ago, the two of them had fought desperately, yet they had only managed to dirty the enemy's sleeve slightly. When Wang Lin returned and approached the Vermilion bird planet as usual, he swept his divine sense across the entire planet. The moment Chu Wutai sensed that divine sense, his face turned pale, his body trembling uncontrollably. This wasn't even Wang Lin doing it intentionally. It was simply the overwhelming gap in their levels of existence. Like a mortal facing an immortal, he couldn't even raise his head. When Chu Wutai finally saw Wang Lin, he froze midair, his hands trembling uncontrollably. His emotions were incredibly complicated. Back then, the inheritance position of the Vermilion bird had been given to him by Wang Lin. Over the centuries, he had even thought that if Wang Lin ever returned in hardship, he would take good care of his old brother. But now, brother, you came back? I thought you'd come back struggling, and I just feel a bit awkward. But instead, you came back piloting an aircraft carrier. What was he supposed to say? Call him Brother Wang. That felt disrespectful given Wang Lin's current cultivation. Call him Senior. That felt awkward given their past relationship. After hesitating for a long time, he finally chose to bow. If Chu Wutai only felt awkward, then Yun Kuei-zi was outright terrified. Back then, how did he treat Wang Lin? Just a talented pawn one he could manipulate at will. But now, after sensing Wang Lin's cultivation, he panicked, because he had once plotted against Wang Lin. It was like, you're a private business owner. You once exploited an employee. Then one day, that employee returns and says, brother, I'm now the director of the tax bureau. Would you panic? That was exactly how Yun Kuei-zi felt. When Wang Lin's gaze landed on him, and he calmly said, Senior, it has been 1,000 years. You still carry the same bearing. Yun Kuei-zi immediately snapped back to reality, waving his hands and bowing deeply, his voice filled with bitterness and reverence. In cultivation, the one who has attained more is the senior. The title of senior must absolutely not be mentioned again. At this moment, I should call you Senior Wang. Within those words lay deep fear and shock. Back then, he treated Wang Lin as a pawn. Now Wang Lin could erase him with a mere flick of his hand. Yet Wang Lin showed no intention of settling old scores. Instead, he calmly reminisced about the past. This overwhelming contrast in both strength and character completely shattered Yun Kuei-zi's 1,000-year pride. After that, Wang Lin's first stop was his parents' grave. This was where his obsession began and where his doll heart was the softest. When Wang Lin stood quietly in white robes before the grave, the Wang clan's current patriarch led hundreds of clan members following from afar, not daring to approach, barely daring to breathe. When Wang Lin turned and called them over, the entire clan immediately fell to their knees, a sea of black silhouettes trembling. The patriarch cried as he spoke. The 127th generation of the Wang clan, along with all descendants, pays respect to the ancestor. Even the Heng Yue sect, where Wang Lin's journey had begun, knelt from afar, Wang Lin said little, only leaving behind some cultivation techniques and resources, allowing the sect to rise again. All disciples kowtowed until their foreheads bled. As for the enemies of the past, those who had once hunted Wang Lin, they were truly terrified. Some crippled their own cultivation overnight and knelt before the Wang Ancestral Hall begging for mercy. Some collapsed on the spot, their Tao hearts shattered. Others fled the planet in panic, tearing through space without looking back. Wang Lin did not bother with them. The gap was simply too great. During his stay, Wang Lin did not merely pass through the Vermilion bird planet, he reshaped it. With a single thought, he revived the planet that was on the brink of exhaustion. The dried spiritual veins surged once more. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged violently, multiplying several-fold in an instant. Mountains trembled, rivers roared back to life, and the very sky seemed clearer, deeper, more alive than ever before. It was as if the entire planet had been reborn. Shock spread like a storm. The great sect stood in stunned silence. The wandering cultivators felt their hearts quake. Even the reclusive old monsters who had not stirred for centuries opened their eyes in disbelief. And the mortals, though they could not understand cultivation, they could feel it, a pressure vast and sacred like the descent of a true immortal. Then one after another, they all turned toward the same direction. Zhou Nation. No one gave the order, yet no one dared disobey. From the mighty to the weak, from the heavens to the earth, they all knelt. 3 kneels, 9 kowtows, foreheads pressed against the ground, bodies trembling, hearts filled with reverence beyond words. Because they all knew, the one who stood there was no longer the Wang Lin of the past. He was now a being who could overturn heaven and earth with a single thought, whose existence alone brought life back to an entire world. There is a saying, to gain glory and not return home is like walking at night in fine clothes. For cultivators who sever ties and walk the lonely Tao, returning home is often meaningless. But Wang Lin returned. He returned to the very planet that gave him life, to the place where his story began, to the land that once witnessed his struggles, his hatred, his rise. And at this moment, every kneeling figure, every trembling breath, every gaze filled with awe, became the perfect answer to that saying. Because this time, Wang Lin did not walk in the night. He returned in glory, and the entire Vermilion bird planet bowed before him.